We oppose this bill with pride.
Alfred Naro.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to take up the comments that were made by the Honourable Jan Logie when she talked about our children deserve better. Mr. Speaker, absolutely our children do deserve better. Unfortunately, it's not the children who are at fault. Sometimes, and not all the time, but sometimes adults, through their behaviour, cause the incidences where our children do suffer. Mr. Speaker, this bill, as the Dr. Rajan Prasad said, the target is fraud. Absolutely. There's unashamedly, this particular bill is about fraud. But the overall vision of the welfare reforms is about a welfare system that does support our people in our community who are in need. That's the intent of the vision. So while the bill is focused on fraud, there's a broader vision that this government has to ensuring that we have a system of welfare that does support our people who are in need. Mr. Speaker, the comment by Dr. Prasad was about the target is fraud. I want to read from the Minority Report. While Labor supports the intent of this bill to hold those responsible for committing fraud within our community, within our benefit system to account, and stopping them from undermining the entire system for those who need it most. And I'll finish off the sentence, they do have grave concerns. But the part I want to highlight is about ensuring that we have the resource for those who need it most. Mr. Speaker, I've had constituents that have come to my office in Māngere who've talked to me how that they are in a situation about this exact issue around benefit fraud. And it was, again, an issue, an oversight that they had made. Mr. Speaker, in that sort of situation, absolutely, I supported them in the process of ensuring that they would get help and that there was discretion in the way that the department dealt with them. So it's not true to say that this government is a government that doesn't care. In fact, it does care. We care every day. We want to make sure, as the words from the Minority Report from the Labor Department, from the Labor opposition, Labor Party, clearly said, we want to hold those people to account. We want to make sure that, well, it could be Labor Department, probably feels like that some days, I'm not sure. But anyway, the intent of the bill is to ensure that those resources will go to those people who need it most. And we don't disagree with that. Absolutely, that's the intent of what this bill does. I want to pick up also too on the points that was made by Jan Logie around discretion, because I think it's really important. I think it's important that when we deal with this issue, that it can be sensitive, because those who, unfortunately, who have made some decisions, there's been an oversight, we want to make sure that we do care for them and do help them through this process. Therefore, to ensure effective debt recovery and address the effect of those court decisions, this bill will amend the Act so. Number one, it imposes a duty on MSD to take all reasonable, practical steps to recover the debt. Secondly, MSD has discretion, and I'll repeat that, discretion to determine case by case the method and rate of recovery. Thirdly, in exceptional circumstances, MSD may defer temporarily the recovery of debt. And fourthly, the Minister responsible for the Act is required to issue directions identifying the exceptional circumstances in which recovery may be deferred temporarily, and identifying the considerations to which MSD must have regard in setting the rate and methods of recovery of the debt. I just want to highlight the point, Mr. Speaker, that's important that we are showing discretion, that we do care. This is not about turning around and heavy-handedly going out there and taking from those, who unfortunately through their oversight have made a mistake. But for those who are, we all agree in this House, because the report has come back, the bill has come back with a majority agreeing for those who have committed the fraud behaviour, then they should be held to account. They should be held to account, and that's the intent of this. Well, one last comment before I finish, Mr. Speaker, is that Ms. Ardern actually talked about the issue of finance and ensuring that we're balanced in our view as a government. Well, we do know that South Canterbury Finance are currently in the docks before the courts being held into account. This is a government that is fair. It's wanting to ensure that the resources that are needed for those who need it most do receive that, but for those who have committed fraudulent behaviour, they will be held to account. I commit this bill to the House.
Esanati Lolly Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.